everybody. My name is Shelly. If you have not visited my podcast, and um, I'm talking about neurological diseases. I have multiple sclerosis and Parkinson's disease with a touch of valley fever, or maybe like a big touch of that. And so we'll get into that. And so I was going like through my life, the places we moved to, the different places I had been, and I was just trying to, like, most neurological neuros, I can't say the word today, neurologists say that MS is geographical, and if you go online, it'll say that too. And like, I believe that it's genetic, but I mean, I don't know. So I was just going through my life to see if you had any similar things as I have, or where you live. Let me know where you're from, those kinds of things. And I'm sorry, I'm slow thinking, and my speech is not so good today. But we're keeping it real, so please bear with me. I'm trying my best. So last week we ended with pretty much with me talking about being anorexic, and I believe what my doctor believed it was caused from the MS, probably from getting it so young too, had a lot to do with it. There was probably other factors too, because I had kids before MS and after MS, and that could have had a lot to do with it also. So, and now pregnancy and MS. I know when I had my first child, after I had him, is really when the symptoms started coming on, like really hard, and then I kind of went into remission. I got diagnosed, I think, 3 years after that, and it took me a while, and I don't think I've ever had a full remission, but almost at times. But anyway, so when I had my daughter, that was really hard, because normally with MS, while you're pregnant, for most women, it doesn't affect you. If you're walking, you should still be able to walk. I mean, with my boys, I could walk, and I had balance issues a little bit, but that's it. But with Emily, I couldn't get out of chairs. I was only like 5 months pregnant, and about 4 months pregnant, the symptoms really were hitting me hard. I was just having a really tough time, and I do not know this for sure, but I had a placenta abruption with Emily. Her and I about both bled to death, and we didn't. I do think the pressure of it, and because I was having really bad MS symptoms right before the placenta abruption happened, I kind of do believe it had something to do with it. Like, the doctor said that I my body gave up. It just gave up. And so, anyway, she only weighed 1 pound, 8 ounces. But, I mean, believe it or not, she did great. She was in the hospital for 4 months, but that was for her weight. But other than that, we got really fortunate, thank God. And I'm sure God had a huge hand in it. But even at 1 pound, 8 ounces, she was mad that she lost her home. And my mom and my aunts and everyone told me she was mad. She was really pissed off, actually. When they hit the bump and the little carrier to put her on the helicopter to take her to Valley Children's, she was super mad about that when they hit the bump. So anyway, my point is, my parents and everyone told me, we knew at that moment she was going to be fine. And thank God she was. I didn't mean to really have any more kids. I had 3 boys. But, things happen. And I finally got my girl. I mean, I never planned on having 4 kids, but I am so very happy that I did, and thank God I did. And so anyway, after that, I think I would get kind of semi-remissions. I stayed on the Copaxone, and I had some stressors, not bad. I worked as much as I could with different jobs, and I did pretty well. Sometimes I'd have to quit for a little while and rest. And at one place that I tried working at, was called Ryan's Place at the time, and a friend of mine, she already worked there. She was a wonderful waitress, and I just couldn't do it. But the assistant manager, and I'll just say her first name, Mary, she wrote an awesome letter for me when I did sign to go on Social Security. And I was so grateful to her that she wrote that letter for me, because it only took me a really short time to get on Social Security disability, because I started having a hard time. But I was basically back and forth. So I'm back living in Lake Isabella now. Been living there for quite a while. My kids are going to Kern Valley High School, and they're having a blast. I mean, they're fishing, hunting, riding motorcycles. I had my own business. I was doing well. They were doing well. Everything was pretty good. And my MS wasn't too bad. I mean, I did have trouble writing and those kinds of things. And then I started going blind, literally blind, that was the first time. And it was optic neuritis, and the doctor, I had surgery on my eyes. And anyway, I was 20/20 vision within 24 hours of that surgery, and I ended up having 3 surgeries altogether on my eyes for optic neuritis, and that's where the multiple sclerosis attacks your optic nerve, and it's like your eyes dim, and they get dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. to, you hardly can't see anything. But thank God they have surgery for that. So if you are having eye problems, go see your ophthalmologist. And also, that's kind of how I got diagnosed at first, was from an ophthalmologist. And I still have trouble with optic neuritis. I do have glasses, but they really don't work for me. And so it was probably, maybe I need to go back again and have another surgery. But the surgery is super simple. It's like one of the easier things I've done in life. So, it's like, so it was not a big deal. It was a lot less than going to the dentist. I can tell you that. But anyway, the kids are doing well. I struggled in my personal life. I just wasn't good at that. I don't know if MS had a part of that. I think it did. I think I had a very low self-esteem. And at this point in my life, too, I'm also still very anorexic. I haven't gone to the doctor yet at this point in my life. So I'm getting ready to turn 40, and I turned 40 in March, and then May 8th was my second oldest son, Christopher. In May 8th, he actually turned 19, but I always say 18 because he was killed right after his birthday. His birthday was on May 8th, on a Sunday, and he was killed on a motorcycle. I'm not going to go into that part, but on a motorcycle, it was a horrific accident. He was a professional rider. There was no reason for that to happen, but it did. And in my heart, I know it was not his fault. Everybody sees it differently. But it is what it is. I lost my baby. So about 2 weeks after I lost Chris, of course, I was practically starving myself to death. And at that point, it wasn't so much anorexic. I just couldn't eat. Every time I tried to eat, I would think, well, Christopher can't eat. Or anytime I smiled, I would think, Chris can't smile, or Chris can't do this, or that. So it was super hard on me. So I started having more trouble walking, and my speech was bad at times. I had 2 aunts I called 24/7, and my mom and dad grieving, and my kids were grieving, and trying to help them, and trying to help myself, and dealing with the MS. And so I went to my neurologist in Bakersfield, California. She was a wonderful neurologist, and Christopher used to drive me to all my appointments. He loved going. He loved my doctor. She was so awesome. And I mean, because of all the grief and everything being so hard on my body, my mind, everything, I don't know how I lived through it, to be honest. I really don't. It broke me. It completely broke me. And when I went to see her for help, she literally put her head on my file and she said, I don't know how to help you. I really don't. And she goes, and I don't know how to help myself. I love your son, Christopher. He was so sweet. And he was. He was just an old soul for his age. He had mild cerebral palsy, and I think that made him so sweet because he understood things being hard and you have to work harder. And so I went through it, and I was way down in the 80s for quite a few years after that. I just had a really hard time falling. I had a lot of numbness, a lot of aphasia, all kinds of stuff just hitting me so hard. They did actually put me on steroids a few times because the Copaxone just wasn't holding me during that time because I was not sleeping, not eating, crying. You couldn't even look at me for 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years without me crying. If you mention Christopher's name. But you never get through the loss of a child. You never do. But the reason why I'm here today, and I have been here, I think this is my 8th or 9th week, that is because of him. Because he lived his life. He had to fight to be here, and his entire life was a battle with his education, everything because of the cerebral palsy. But he pretty much grew out of all of it, and he was just this beautiful, happy, loving child who loved everybody. And I say I'm here because I decided to live for him instead of just laying down and dying. And I know so many of us that have any neurological disease or cancer or whatever you have, any loss like that is going to make you sicker. And some people don't make it through it. They don't. And I've seen that too. On a very personal level, I have seen that happen. And so, but I'm here to say, whether you have MS, you have Parkinson's, any other neurological diseases, you can get through it and live for them. Live for them. Make them proud. And I want to make all my kids proud. I do. So I live for them. For all of them. Really. And anyway, it's the worst thing I think you can go through is losing your child. But if you just starve yourself to death, and die with them, you didn't accomplish anything. You didn't help your other children. You did that to your parents, So you have a lot of reasons to give up, but on the other hand, you have a whole ton of reasons not to give up. And I knew that Christopher, it would have broke his heart to see me that way. So anyway, I'm just saying, whatever horrific, horrible thing you're going through in your life, for me, God, the belief in God, family support, tons of family support. If you don't have that, get support from someone like me, from any national society. There's suicide hotlines, all kinds of, there's national multiple sclerosis support groups, support online, all kinds of places that you can go to. So anyway, so I made it through that. And thank you, Christopher, and my grandkids, and my other kids keep me going. And so, anyway, so I moved from, I'm sorry I kind of got stuck on that for a little too long. So anyway, I told you I did go to a doctor. I did eventually. They gave me some medicine, and, you know, I was, however you want to put it, cured of anorexia. I'm not going to say nervosa because we don't know that I had that. So anyway, to change the scenery for the kids, we ended up moving to Santa Barbara. Now, geologically, going back to geologically, I already had MS. And so, I guess it could have mattered, but not mattered. I don't know. But I think because Santa Barbara is such a beautiful place, geographically, the topography of Santa Barbara was relaxing, and I would just sit at the beach and watch the waves, and I think I had like a pretty good semi, not completely remission. I was still breathing really bad. So long story short, I ended up in San Luis Obispo. I got a boyfriend, which is my husband now. And so I was able to keep a relationship. It's been almost a little over 18 years now. And if they're good to you and supportive of you, that can help. But you don't have to have a partner because you're sick. You can have friends and family, and they're just as helpful. It's the best thing I found out the hard way. But the best thing to do for yourself is put yourself first. You are first, because if you're not okay, your kids aren't okay, your friends are worried about you. If you don't have any of that now, or you're empty nester, sorry, been sick. There's always someone there, a church, anywhere. You need loving, caring support. And I'm going to end this with, just email me, and I will get back in hold of you, and I will help you all I can and everything we can. So we're going to still go through my life and see how it affected, and when I got diagnosed with the Parkinson's too. So yay, all that. And I hope, I don't want to come across so negative. There is always positives, and there truly is always a silver lining. Even though maybe your silver lining don't look like someone else's, it's okay. It's okay. And the other thing, it's okay not to be okay. So when I'm not okay, I'm fine with that because it's okay not to be okay. So I love all of you, and we're going to go through my life. I'm not done moving yet. So I'll see you all next week. Love you very much. I hope you have a wonderful week. And please come back and watch, subscribe, and hit that like button.